the Democratic Party now, you and I, in our last conversation, talked about, I mean, essentially it's the same old, negotiating against themselves, coming up with every rationalization and excuse not to act. President Obama recently came out. Obama, in a private call to House Democrats, I guess it was on Zoom, told Democrats not to complain about legislative setbacks, but to focus on their successes in a conference call. According to the report, Obama met with the House Democrats as they gathered for a retreat to discuss revamping their messaging. And amid a stalled legislative agenda, the 44th president implored Democrats to, quote, take the wins you could get, and told them that it doesn't help to whine about the stuff you can't change. So I don't know about you, sounds like a very defeatist, complacent, incremental mindset when President Biden does have opportunities still to get some legislative victories, either through executive action or actually going to the mat for some of his policies. What are your thoughts on Obama's, message?
There are several things going on there. First of all, we don't really know how much Biden can get through now in terms of legislation, but we do know what he could do with executive orders. We do know that the executive power that he still has within him is such that he could declare a medical emergency and expand Medicare to everybody today. He could declassify marijuana from Schedule I drug today. He could cancel the college loan debt today. As far as President Obama is concerned, the only good news I see there is how many people consider his opinions irrelevant at this point. To me, the former president is one of the main drivers that drove us into this ditch. I don't see him as someone who knows how to get us out of this ditch. And his idea of political strategy might be that which temporarily supports a corporatist agenda for the Democratic Party. It has very little to do with the kind of fundamental repair of our economic and social and political system that is so necessary today.
And I also think it shows a wild disconnect when he says the wins, because I think Obama, and by extension Pelosi, Biden, this and that, they think that the wins that they see, the infrastructure deal, the temporary measures like the child tax credit, that the masses feel that. And that's changing their lives structurally. When the masses, yes, maybe they temporarily got some aid from the COVID relief bill, but the masses aren't waking up. Thank God for that infrastructure deal.
No,
can you
they're
kind of
not.
talk about that disconnect?
No, they're not. And I read today that the president has endorsed a $600 and some odd billion buildup in our nuclear arsenal over the next decade. But we were told by the mansions and the cinemas and others in the Democratic Party that 200 and some odd billion to be spent on 4 weeks of national paid leave is too much. The actual visceral experience of Americans, particularly Americans who stood in line for 7 and 8 hours to vote for Biden because they thought that their lives would be improved, is not being taken into account. How can you say to people who can't even afford their car payments, be happy because we're fixing the roads? Like you said, even though they went, there was so much that the president could do right now, despite the fact that they could not get the Build Back Better deal passed that would help people today, whether it has to do with how shackled they are by the college loan debt, the terrible disparity between those who have health insurance and those who do not, or those who have it and those who are underinsured. Just making this inside baseball talk about what the president can get done with the Senate is a kind of avoidance technique. They're trying to distract us from the spectacular failure of President Biden's unwillingness to use the kind of power that FDR used. The president came in, he put FDR's picture in the Oval Office. He talked about how he was ready to be an FDR for our time. No, he's not. FDR would be acting. FDR by now already had the pillars of the New Deal in place. FDR said himself that he was willing to take drastic measures if necessary to right the wrongs that people were experiencing in their daily lives. And let's not make a mistake. I don't care if President Obama is at Martha's Vineyard somewhere with a private meeting of the big donors and the major donors of the Democratic Party. Nothing that he said takes into account the extraordinary suffering of millions of people in this country, and many of whom voted for Biden, having been promised that they would be helped.
And you and I, by the way, have talked about this before. This is creating a vacuum for the far right. I mean,
Yeah,
the far right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It gave us Trump already. It gave us Trump. And now it could not only give us Trump again, it could give us something worse in time.
Thanks for watching, and make sure to tune in to Status Coup's daily live stream Monday through Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time and Fridays at 4 o'clock Eastern Time.